Hello everyone and welcome back to another video about the Austria versus Soviet matchup. Today I am playing against Isildur yet again. He's going with a slightly different opening, which I don't think is as usual as the conscript opening. He's going for a sniper opening. Either way, the reason I think this replay is more valuable to some is because I struggled a bit, especially mid to late game. So I think it's a good example on what to do if you're struggling and what my mindset was, what I was thinking. Either way, it's also a good way to show what to do if you do encounter a Soviet player doing this, because it can be really annoying, especially if you are playing on an open map or it's a small map and open. So that's even worse. I was also requested not to use the meta commander, so I'm not using 5-man grants. I'm using the Jaeger Infantry Doctrine. And this is a really good commander if you don't want to use the meta one or if it gets nerfed eventually. It does have G43s, it does have the Jaeger Command Squad, which again I think it's probably the best about this commander. It's a really strong squad. And for late game it does have the Stuka Close Air Support, which is, if you do get munitions, really good to zone or kill big vehicles. Anyway, I'm going to see this again from my point of view, so everyone knows what I'm seeing. I'm just going to fast forward this part a bit. So what is the plan here? So Nexus is a map with the two fields really separated, and it also has a lot of shot blockers around the fields. The mid of the map is a bit more open, or a lot more open, you could say. So usually, if you're playing as Austria, that's where you want to play for. You want to play for the mid and maybe a fuel, and if you do get a lot of advantage, then you can get the other fuel as well. Right now I'm pushing through the center again to see what I'm dealing with. It's also really important to note that I built this with the Pioneer, and I would say that especially on this map, but on many others, it's important that with the first Pioneer, you do build the sandbag and the wire so he doesn't use it, because it's really annoying through all the stages of the game for the opponent to capture this point if you're using a squad there to defend it, especially Grenadiers. So back to the match. I see that he has an engineer here, and I suspect that his units are on this part of the map. I don't know that he went for a sniper build just yet, so I think that his conscript squads must be around here somewhere. And now I see the sniper, and right now what I'm thinking is the sniper opening weaknesses, and what this opening is good for is to bleed you, and it also scales well into the mid and into the late game because you already have a sniper build, and the sniper is really annoying to deal with, and he will bleed you a lot. Sniper reveal is also good in maps with a lot of green cover, but it does suffer from some weaknesses. One of them is that early game, well, and when I say early game, I do really mean the first few moments of when the sniper is out, because as Soviets you can start spamming conscripts soon after again. You can have the numbers advantage, and you can try to do cutoff maneuvers on your opponent. And the second weakness is that this build is susceptible to 2-2 rushes. But it's not likely that he will have a counter for 2-2 when it hits the field when he goes sniper, or at least if he does, it's going to be in form of a penal squad, which often bleeds a lot of manpower as well. So I rush to his sniper to gain some time, make his sniper back off, and my idea is I want to cut off whatever resources he has. So I rush to this point that he capped before, and I'm going to place my MG trying to look at his space. He does get a conscript squad behind lines, and instantly I have to deal with the squad.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
So right now, this is not what technically should have happened. I misplayed that engagement quite a bit, which means now that I have 3 units back on the field, I didn't really punish his sniper opening. And right now what I'm thinking is, I don't want to bleed more manpower, so I back off this Grenadier straight away. And I'm also thinking that to punish his build, I need the 222. So the third Grenadier squad out of my base is now capturing the points to make up for the fact that I used my first few units to do a push on his cutoff, which didn't work out. So I try to hide behind shot blockers. I know that this sniper is probably trying to get some shots off. I now position them around the field, so in case he tries to come with a conscript squad, he has to be supported by the sniper for it to work, and he does support it with the sniper. So my plan right now is try to avoid getting shot by the sniper, capturing resources, and get that 2-2 out, so I can have more presence on the field and I can have a good sniper counter out. Right now, the only engagement I know that I'm going to win is this one, because I know that the sniper is not on that part of the map. And now, the 2-2 is instantly building when I build tier 2. And also keep in mind that I know that I'm playing against 2 engineers, and I also saw him lay down a mine earlier, which I didn't caught in the view. So it's really important that you have the Pioneer squad to mine sweeper as soon as possible and not a flamer, especially if you're going to rush 2-2 and it's going to be your pushing force. You need to be sure that 2-2 isn't going to hit any mines when it hits the field. Also, as a side point, the Pioneer is a really good unit to scout for the enemy sniper. As you can see here, it has a lot of vision. The sniper also has a lot of vision, so they kind of spot each other out. So I back off right here. And now the 2-2 hits the field, and I did say in the tips video that it's really important to know when to be aggressive or when to push or when to try to increase the pace of the game. And if there is a time to do that, it's now. I do have the 2-2 out, it's a counter to the sniper. I have my Grenadiers almost full HP, every single one of them. And he needs to defend his sniper. So instantly I push up. And I try to keep my 2-2 near the Pioneer, so in case there are any mines. And the 2-2 also kinda scouts for the sniper as well. Also, I call in the Jaeger command squad. Notice that I didn't build 4 Grenadiers, I built 3. You could say that the 4th usually isn't seen, but against Soviets it's really good to have a lot of units in the field, so usually a 4th Grenadier or a 2nd MG is really good. So I call in the Jaeger command squad, so I have some pressure on this side of the map while I can have the rest of the forces fighting off whatever units he has. And right now I want my 2-2 to pressure his sniper so he isn't firing away freely. I do, however, make a mistake here. I hit a mine. Now, this mistake isn't going to be punished just because I also have a lot of units supporting the 2-2. However, you don't want this to happen, and what I should have done here is push up with the Pioneer when the 2-2 pushes up as well. Again, he's trying to bleed me here. I push up with the squad so his sniper doesn't have a good firing point. There's another thing here. So, he's bleeding me a lot with the sniper right now. I also know that the T-70 timing is around the 8-minute mark. If I keep up with this aggression against him and this bleed, he probably will have the T-70 a lot sooner than my pack, and we don't really want that. So I start playing a lot more defensive when I retreat the squad, the 3-man squad as well, and I back off with the other squad to try and minimize some of the losses. Here I'm just trying to be annoying. I don't want to give him the map for free, so I keep the 2-2 firing away, and now that the conscript is off the map, I know that the sniper is most likely off the map as well. To minimize the bleed, I build a bunker as soon as I'm back to base. Also, I'm using a medkit on one of the low health grenadiers so I can have a unit on the field to pressure the map. It's really bad if you don't have any units at some point in the map capping, and I want to be back on the field as soon as possible because I know I just got his units back to the base as well. So 8 minutes is it, and you might be wondering why I don't have a pack yet, considering that the T70 timing is usually at the 8-minute mark. The reason I don't have one is because I know just how much fast-paced the game was. It's a kind of a feel thing. I know that he also reinforced a lot of squads, and I know that the sniper opening kind of costs you a lot more manpower as well than your usual builds. So I know that T70 is going to be slightly delayed, and that's why I don't have the pack yet. But I do know that the T70 is probably in production right now, or close to it. So my plan now is to try and avoid more manpower losses, and get that pack out as soon as possible. I also want to point out that I did upgrade the LMG. And there's kind of, I think, two schools of thought against snipers. And those two, one of them only works on big maps, such as this one. So what I'm trying to accomplish here with LMGs on Grens is that they are going to solo win the engagements against conscript squads. And if he does want to win them with the conscript squads, he needs to have the sniper supporting the conscript squad. And that means that if I'm fighting, for example, in 3 parts of the map at the same time, he's only going to win one of them with the sniper. And that works because the map is big and the sniper can't rotate quick enough to the other parts of the map to help the engagement. Some other maps that isn't possible. However, there's another thing you can do, especially if you pick this commander, which is upgrade G43s, which usually is a really good upgrade against a sniper. You do, however, need then to get some good flanks in and be aggressive against a sniper to kill it. What I'm doing here is, again, I'm upgrading LMGs, so I try to make, or at least do the idea that the sniper needs to always be supporting one of the conscript squads in order to win the engagement. Can't be everywhere at once. Again, I see some mines being laid down here. I push through the center. And I also try to get his fuels now. And finally the T70 is out. My pack isn't out quite yet. But it isn't really a big problem because he isn't sure if the pack is out, so he plays safe, obviously. And even if the pack isn't out, you do have the Fausts on the Grenadiers, which kinda are a soft counter against the T70. But right now I'm causing a lot of bleed. These LMGs are really good to cause bleed. And I'm trying to use the cover here to delay the T70. Also, I see the sniper. Sometimes it's good, even though he has the sniper supported right now, it's good to get some shots in with the 2-2 against it, so he loses some HP and maybe goes back to base. But yeah, let's evaluate the map state right now, because I think that a lot of action is happening. I do have a Grenadier squad guarding the fuel, and I do have the Pioneer capping off the north of the map. So overall, these engagements in the center are really beneficial to me. He isn't really winning anything with it. And I also just pushed in the sniper with 2-2, so it's going back to base. And my only threat now is the T70. So what I'm going to do for now, for the mid game, is do kind of a combo with the 222 and the pack. The 222 spots for the pack, and the pack tries to get the T70. And you can really follow the T70 around either by listening to the engine through the fog of war, or try to take a guess of where he's going. Many times it's obvious. Right now I'm guessing that he's harassing my Pioneer up here, and I just can't get the pack there in time, so I keep the pack in the center. And right now, because he has a T70 out, right, and he's going to try to harass me in the edges of the map, it's really important that I have control of the center. If I have control of the center, it means that if I place the pack there, the pack is going to be safe. And if the pack is in the center and it's safe, it can rotate to any edge of the map and deal with the T70. So again, I give vision with the 2-2. I see the T70 rotating and I catch it with the pack gun. Again, Grenadiers being really annoying. Without the sniper, they win the engagement. And then I'm just pushing and looking for the sniper as well.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Again, pushing the sniper. The reason I'm harassing so much here is because I want to keep this fuel in my control as much time as possible. I'm not bad on the manpower sector, you could say, so I'm allowed to do that. Also, I'm trying to keep the pressure as long as I can to give time to this squad to deal with the solo engineer here and eventually decap his fuel as well. 2-2 and pack gun in the center of the map. Again, I want to have this center as long as possible, just so this pack can do this against the T70. And I also said that in the tips video, if you're fighting a T70, for example, you do want to have the open ground, so the pack is more free to hit the shots. And right now I'm doing just that as well. I'm keeping the pack on the center of the map, which is the more open part of the map. Again, he's trying to get my pack off the field. He's trying to do a push, and I just get my units back to base. I mean, from base back to the field, and all I need to do is back off, fire shots at his infantry. He's going to bleed manpower here. I don't really care if he's pushing me off the map, because I know that as soon as I get back into the field right now, I'm going to cap whatever he capped. This conscript squad is out, so that means my pack can advance again. Instantly my pack goes up to look for the T70 and for the sniper, which he backs off to base. So yeah, right now I'm not thinking about capturing his fuel. I'm just worried because of the T70 that I need to have the center of the map, which I do. My plan right now is to have the center and the north. Right now I know where his sniper is. I'm trying to keep it away from my infantry. It's really important that your 222 keeps his sniper in check. And now I also have a Panzer IV out. And this is the usual build, I would say, that you want for, 90% of your games. You want 4 Grenadiers, LMGs, MG, you want the 222 out with VET so you can spot, you want a pack or double pack later on. And you also want a double P4 kind of setup. And I would say that that's probably one of the strongest builds, if not the strongest for Austere. It offers you a lot of everything, basically. And that's what I'm going for here. The P4 is a really strong unit. And I just keep my 2-2 harassing his infantry while I can. it's important that you treat the 222 very nicely in the sense that he's going to be one of the most impactful units come late game. If you have a 222 out late game with Vet, your packs are going to be just beasts. They are going to be sniping every vehicle that he has. So if you can keep the 222 alive, then late game you're going to be very powerful. And now I see that he has PTRS, that doesn't really mean anything. I'm just bleeding his squad. And I'm really comfortable in the map right now. So right now he has a lot of things he needs to deal with. He needs to deal with LMG grants, and his conscript squads need to be supported for them to win that engagement. He also, to win against the Jaeger command squad, he also needs to be supported. He has to deal with a P4, and an MG. So that's a lot of things he has to deal with. And that's really the point of going LMG grants, is that he really has to have a lot of units supporting his conscript squads in order to win any engagement on the map. And right now my build is really good. He needs to really play a lot better than me to win the engagements. So I'm on a really comfortable position, especially now that I have the P4. My plan is to push forward now and try to cap the map as much as I can. I even cap the middle VP with a pack. And something unfortunate here happened, which is I lost a Grenadier squad to a mine plus a sniper shot. These are the kind of things that can make the opponent come back, and he will have a comeback, you could say. You need to be careful with the mines. However, it's really impossible in a Company of Heroes match to really be expecting not to lose a unit at some point, especially if you're playing against someone good. You just need to know how to come back from it. Right now, I lost that squad. I'm not thinking on replacing that squad just right now, because I have more important things to counter. Right now I'm thinking on building a sniper, so his sniper now, besides having to be careful about the 222, now needs to be careful about the counter snipe as well. And it's also really good against the penal squad, because it bleeds a lot of manpower on that squad. So even though I just lost a squad, you have to keep your priorities straight. You have to be thinking always, how do I counter his build now? What do I need to do to really shut off everything he has? And right now, I know that's the sniper. If I kill the sniper, it's one unit less that he has supporting his conscript squads. That's going to be one side of the map that is going to lose infantry engagements. That's really important. So I'm trying to get the sniper out now. I also have that leeway of waiting for the sniper right now, because I have a P4 on the field, and the P4 can really stall the game. So sniper being built. I'm just trying to get control of the north and the center yet again. I really don't mind if I lose this part of the map, and I do. And now I see the T-3485, and this is a big threat to deal with because it's a really strong tank. Right now I'm thinking one of two things. I'm thinking I either need a second pack or I need a second P4 to deal with this. And soon you'll see what is the decision I went for.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And I'm going to explain why as well. Anyways, I try to bring the pack to the center yet again. And I try to push forward with the P4. And one thing I'm doing here is I know that he's going to want to kill my pack with this sniper. So the ideal spot for my sniper, if I want to kill his sniper, is going to be near the pack gun. So what I do here is I keep the pack and the sniper together, and I put the sniper on hold fire. I also scout this part of the map with a lone squad, so I see if it's going to be hard for me to harass this part of the map when he's not watching. And I see that he does have a T-70 there, and he does have some squads, so it's going to be tough. So now what I'm thinking is I really need to get that center back, and then having the center back, I'm going to the north yet again. And it's really important that I really don't push much until I have what I think is the final build order. So yeah, right now you can see what I was saying earlier. 222 plus the pack is really strong. He has to back off through the center, and I push forward with the sniper. And now I see a sniper, he's coming to harass my pack, instantly gets counter sniped. That's what I wanted. And I know that so soon he's not going to have a new sniper anytime soon. Now having dealt with that, I push to the north because I need some fuel out. And he's too aggressive here, and I get the conscript squad out. But I'm going to slow this down now because it's really important to show this. So not only did I lose that grenadier squad earlier, I also had an MG here because I was expecting him to come rushing in, and he instantly kills the MG. So that's one less unit that I do have. And I just keep my pack firing away. That's really important to keep this to back off. And I'm trying to defend the retreat path of this engineer because it's my only repair option. And he also gets my engineer squad. So these are two really big losses. Without the engineer, I can't repair my P4, and I also can't see mines. So instantly, my first priority is to get that pioneer back in the field, right? And I instantly build a new one. However, not everything is bad. I did get his sniper earlier, so I know that my sniper now can fire freely at his conscript squads and his penal squads. And also want to showcase again how strong the 222 with the pack gun is. And right now I did yet another mistake, you could say, which is I used the Sukakul's air support without having any snares on. So you could say that this was a bit of a waste of munition. However, it did give me some breathing room to get the north back and have his T-3485 back off. Yeah, T-70 is being annoying. I really don't want to yet rotate the pack, but now I do. So yeah, my decision right now was to build a second P4. It's now in production. The reason I do the second P4 right now, not the second pack to deal with that T-3485, is because I lost the MG, I lost the Gran earlier. I know that he can do infantry pushes, so I need something that is both anti-tank and anti-infantry, and naturally the P4 is both of those. So it's what I choose to go as of now. It doesn't mean that I won't rebuild what I lost earlier. But right now it's more important to have that. The pack keeps missing the shots on the T-70. That's a bit of a unfortunate aiming. Again, I see the T-3485 trying to sneak in. The 222 just needs to spot for it. And now I have full vision. I can fire away at the T-70 as well. And with that second P4 out, I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable in dealing with whatever he has. The pack with the 222 is going to keep the T-3485 away, and the P4s can bleed his infantry away. Also notice that my sniper is now on old fire again. And this is because I suspect that he's going for a second sniper, which he did go for. You can never be too sure if he is not going to rebuild or not. And the reason I'm so sure that I need to hold fire with the sniper is because even though I got his sniper earlier, the game, I felt like I didn't bleed him enough manpower. the game kind of slowed down a lot, and that usually gives time for players to get some new unit out. And because of that, I know that if he wanted, he could have rebuilt the sniper. And again, I'm not sure if he did, but it's it's a safe choice to guess that he did, or suppose that he did. And now I play safe with my sniper, and I only shoot when I know for sure that his sniper isn't around. I also keep my pack around the center and looking at where his 3485 last was. And I use my second P4 now to push the field and finally have it under my control for sure. Again, these units are basically making sure that his 3485 doesn't push, and if he does a push with infantry, I have enough vision to react in time. However, I know that he has 3 units right here of infantry, so I know that he's not going to make a push. So I come around with the 222, spot his T70 and back off. He's really just trying to buy time here, but I really don't care, I just want to bleed his manpower right now. One thing that's important right now is that when you have 2 P4s out, and a pack, and a sniper, and all these units, they are such a good unit composition that you're really not in a hurry to capture fuel again. Right now, my main objective, even though it's nice to have the fuel income, I already have what I have with the fuel basically. So my main objective is to bleed his manpower. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm playing it slowly. I slowly come back into the field basically. And my sniper keeps firing away. Keep in mind that I'm only so aggressive with this sniper because my 222 is spotting. Again, just slowly pushing. I see the T485 being repaired right here. I want to get some hits on that repairing squad. It deals a lot of damage. And I also get a shot in. This is something that the 222 and the pack really excel at. If you can keep your opponent tanks like always having 80% HP, for example, he always wants to repair them before getting them back into the field, right? So all this time, his T3485 didn't do almost anything because the pack always got a shot in, so he felt that he needed to repair it, obviously, otherwise if he rushes in he gets snared. So you can get these sneaky shots in, and you can delay any push that you can do by a lot. Also, my plan now is to have a third P4, reason being that, again, the P4s are really good against infantry, and I'm expecting another 1 or 2 maybe 3485s. And even though the P4s aren't really that good against them, they do have the support of the pack. So all I need to be sure is that the pack isn't rushed in by T3485s. And that's why making more P4s in this situation is good, especially if he doesn't have more Ziz guns. If you went for a tier 2 play right now, with T3485s supported by Ziz guns, then doing the third P4 is a mistake. However, he doesn't go for that, so I build a third P4. If he did go for that, probably a second pack is better, because obviously the Ziz gun is not going to kill the pack. And the pack can keep doing its job of keeping the T3485 away. But yeah, right now I just need to slow push. I need to be supported by everything. I don't expect the IS-2, but he does go for it. I'm just slowly coming back into the field. Again, I have vision on anything he does have. I see the sniper as well. And finally I see the IS-2. So the IS-2 doesn't really worry me, and that's for one reason only right now. It's because of this commander that does have this took a close air support. Otherwise, I would be worried, because if you want to deal with this, you would need 2 packs usually, and I only have 1. The P4s aren't really a good counter for this. But anyways, because I know that I have super close air support, and I know that he's desperate to get back into the field, I try to basically cut his tank off. So I'm advancing to 2 giving vision. I do hit a mine, but I want to keep the pack firing at the IS-2, so I creep up the pack. Third P4 is coming in. They are all around the pack, so the pack doesn't get rushed. I can't lose that pack. And now he's trying to advance with the T-34 as well. And I know that I'm really not in a hurry to rush his IS-2. I know that it's in a corner of the map. It isn't really doing anything. And he's bleeding manpower here. He basically can't get out of the base without the support of the IS-2, so I'm basically saying, you come to me, I don't come to you. And he does just that. He comes to me. I turn the pack, and I'm waiting for him to come forward. So he comes forward. Instantly, or what I was planning is, the pack gets the target weak point in, it stuns the IS-2, and I place down super close air support, and that's exactly what I do. I was just waiting for him to do the move, and after I do that, I can have the P4s flank around and go to the rear armor of the IS-2. So he comes forward, I force his hand, and instantly target weak point, super close air support, and the P4s go in. This P4 tries to get the T-70, it doesn't work out. And it's down. He also tries to get the pack now. I also try to get his sniper, but I don't see it. So I have to get back to base. However, because of the super close air support, he loses his tank. And I also have the P4 still ready to go. And this right now is basically game. As you can see, the replay is ending. This was the GG moment. So yeah, the things I want to point out is that, and this is more of a mindset thing, is that you need to be patient. You need to be patient and not be... That doesn't mean being defensive, it just means being smart about it. And that's also ties down to the fact that being patient with grenadiers, avoid bleed. And then there's also the fact that as Austrian, you know that late game you're going to more or less have the advantage if you did the right choices earlier, or you have the right build. Austere with a Vet 3 222 and the pack wall and P4s, it's really unbeatable or close to that. So you just need to wait out for that late game or mid game part of the game. Even if your early game doesn't go as you expected, or even if you lose the MG and the Grenadier and the Pio like I did. Really, you just need to wait for your power spikes as well. The 222 is a power spike, the P4 is a power spike. When you have the upgrades on all your infantry, it's also a really good point in the game. So yeah, just really you have to be patient with how you play this faction, and really try to play around your opponent's build order as well. You can see that even though this is, you could say, the perfect build order, it's perfect for a reason. It's perfect because it counters everything he does have. But like I said earlier, if he had went for a Zizgun, my build order would be slightly different, because his Zizguns would be zoning my P4s away, and this means that they can't fire at the T-34-85, So at that point, maybe a second pack is maybe better or something else. So you need to adapt your builds. But in adapting your builds, you also need to be careful in keeping a balance between anti-tank and anti-infantry. And I think this is a concept that every faction has, obviously, but it's more important as Ostier, is that you always need to be thinking about the balance between the anti-infantry that you have and the anti-tank. This doesn't mean that there are games where like 80% of your units are anti-tank. It all depends also on your opponent has. It's the balance that you create depending on what he has. And usually in a balanced game, he's going to have the usual 3 to 4 infantry units. He's going to have a lot of vehicles out. So it really isn't a case to go full on AT. It can happen though. So yeah, when you see good players building something that you thought maybe a Panther would be better, something really AT heavy would be better to deal with what the opponent has. It's probably the case that the player thought he was struggling on the anti-infantry department, and it's really important to not go fully into one of those. You want to keep a balance out, and this is to say that your builds really need to be thought out with that in mind. And the reason, for example, again, I explained why I went for the P4 is because I want to keep that balance. I don't want to be overwhelmed by infantry. So when you lose something, when you need to adapt builds, keep in mind not to have too little of anti-infantry or too little of anti-tank. Always keep a balance out. In mind with what your opponent has. Obviously, if your opponent only has infantry, obviously you don't need to keep a balance between anti-tank and anti-infantry. You can just go full anti-infantry. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say for today. I also have another replay out, which is a short one against the usual conscript start, no sniper this time, and I might do that later on. Yep, thanks for watching.